video showing a mixed martial arts fighter from Beijing knocking down a self-proclaimed Tai Chi master within seconds continued to go viral on Chinese social media. While the demonstration may be seen by some as a defeat for traditional martial arts, experts and officials believe that the whole thing was a publicity stunt. So what really is going on right now, and what is really behind the traditional Chinese martial arts that's being demonstrated right now in our studio? Before we go to our discussion, take a look at this background first.
In Chinese movies, Tai Chi is always portrayed as miraculous martial arts with deep philosophical meaning. But Xu Xiaodong, a mixed martial arts fighter, claims that modern Tai Chi is not trustworthy.
Tai Chi is real, but only 1 in 10 is real. The other 90% are frauds.
He challenged the Tai Chi amateur, Lei, knocking him out in seconds. But Lei has his own concern.
Some real skills of Tai Chi cannot be used, otherwise people might die several days later. Why not try the skill during the combat? In that case, I'll be in prison now.
Most analysts think the fight is just a publicity stunt, plotted by Xu to win fame. Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba Group, is a big fan of Tai Chi and Chinese martial arts. In his opinion, the knockout is just a show between two amateurs out of a personal grudge. He believes that Tai Chi can fight, but it was not born for combat, while MMA is. Jet Li, a Kung Fu superstar, offered another explanation for the defeat. Martial arts in modern society is more about performance and sports rather than combat skill.
Because we don't need real Kung Fu anymore. Real Kung Fu is the fastest way to kill a person. In ancient China, practicing martial arts is to earn a living.
There was a time when Chinese Kung Fu gained worldwide fame for legendary figures. Ip Man with his Wing Chun, Wang Fei Hung with his Hung Kun, Bruce Lee with his Jeet Kune Do, who was also called by some the father of MMA. Shaolin Kung Fu and Tai Chi are also extremely influential. Though originally conceived as a martial art, Tai Chi in modern society is mainly practiced for health and longevity. The concept of Tai Chi appears in both Taoist and Confucian Chinese philosophy, where it represents the fusion or mother of yin and yang into a single ultimate, represented by the Tai Jitsu symbol. But it seems that Xu's recent challenge is leading to second thoughts of Tai Chi nationwide. How to defend the dignity of traditional martial arts in this modern civilization that no longer needs combat.
Tai Chi vis-a-vis MMA, really? Both in Beijing, we have our two panelists. We have over there Anthony Go, Executive Vice President of the International Wushu Federation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And we also have our master sitting here, Mr. Xu Chengzhi, 13th generation Chen Style Tai Chi master. Welcome as well.
Thank you.
I want to begin with you, Mr. Xu. What about it, practicing Tai Chi in a TV studio?
I'm a little nervous, I have to say. That it's my first time to perform like this.
Yes, but you have 2,000 students here in China and all over the world.
All over the world, yes. Yeah, I have taught Tai Chi for 16 years in China and Germany. Yeah, I ever taught maybe more than 2,000 years.
But you are an economist yourself.
Yes.
Rather than just a Tai Chi master.
This is a modern time that we can be an economist, we can be a politician, and at the same time we can be a Tai Chi master.
That's terrific. But what do you make, both of you, of that latest story? I mean, there has been going viral on social media, MMA fighter against the Tai Chi master lost. So I have to go to Mr. Xu first about his response. What do you think? Has Tai Chi been defeated?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
In my opinion, yeah, this is a very interesting game, actually. Very interesting phenomenon. But first of all, Li can represent only himself. He cannot represent the Tai Chi school, let alone the traditional Chinese martial arts. So I think that this is a good issue which can let people rethink about the Chinese martial arts.
Yeah.
It has some progressive meanings. process meanings, but at the same time that I think the traditional Chinese martial arts should rethink how to develop.
Very interesting point over there. I'll let Mr. Xu to catch his breath after that practice with a lot of vitality. Mr. Go, as the Vice President of the Federation for International Wushu, what do you make of the nature of this kind of competition?
I think this is a very interesting incident, and I think the topic got so heated debate. It's probably unexpected by even these two individuals who set up the fight. I don't think the traditional Wushu community should feel threatened by any of this, because I think there's so many practitioners and there's so many good values, and I think all styles of martial art coexist, and especially the Chinese traditional style will exist.
But you know, Mr. Go, what about that? Is that competition going to lead to the conclusion that the Chinese martial art, when it comes to competitiveness and combating power, is inferior, let's just say, to MMA or some of the other, modern fighting styles?
I don't think so. Simply because there's so much varieties in Chinese martial art, so many different styles, and so many areas you can focus. For example, like our federation, which has over 147 country members, and we practice like Sansho, which is all focused on fighting, just full contact fighting. We also do Untitled, which is just performance, routines, performance. And then we also do like sport for all, where people can just do traditional and not competing, not elite fighting, where everyone can benefit from the health, training, and a sense of well-being. So people can pick and choose because there's so much variety. So I think it would not this small incident would not affect the whole big picture and the development of the sport.
But it seems that the Kung Fu master, at least the Tai Chi master, self-proclaimed, has been defeated. Are you surprised by that? Do you feel ashamed about that as a Tai Chi master yourself?
No, not at all.
Because he is not from your style?
Every Tai Chi master are also the students of Tai Chi. Although we are the teacher, we are also the students. So none of us can represent the Tai Chi school. We can only on the process of learning and make some progress. So Tai Chi school is not defeated. Lili may be defeated, but it is a good thing that for the whole Tai Chi world, because we need to rethink about this issue. This is a very interesting issue, caused a hot debate.
What about that rethinking? So what is Tai Chi about? And from Tai Chi to the whole genre of Chinese martial art, what is it about? Is it about sports? Or is it about traditional culture? Or is it about philosophy? Or is it about cultivation of minds? What is the meaning of traditional Chinese martial arts still today?
In my opinion, Tai Chi is all of them. Tai Chi is a kind of sports, of course, but Tai Chi is also kind of fighting skills because it's a condensation of Chinese ancestors' way of survival in many, many years ago, and it developed for thousands of years. So Tai Chi definitely is also kind of fighting skills. And thirdly, Tai Chi has a lot of elements from the Chinese traditional culture. So Tai Chi is very profound and extensive.
You can tell it's from the 13th generation of the Chen Style of Tai Chi masters. But, what is the meaning of traditional martial arts? Because many believe when they practice martial arts, they believe in the vitality. They also believe in the combating power. They believe in self-defense. They also believe in the confidence once you practice martial art, because you are getting ever stronger. But that stronger also comes from somewhat the combating power of it.
I think all styles of martial art that developed, originated, and practiced in China are considered as Kung Fu, Chinese martial art, or traditional. And I think today we say traditional, we probably referring to the older style that developed in the last 300-400 years, which somewhat connected to the history, like using the ancient weapons.
Right. So what about now? Is it still relevant today?
But it's still very relevant. But also we have developed into the elite competition. Like we are a member of the IOC, International Olympic Committee, and we actually were shortlisted for 2020 Tokyo Olympic, which means we also developed this into a modern sport, taking the elements out, design, choreograph in such a way that is going to be just
When
a
it comes to sport, there is boxing, and that is a very competitive sport, and that makes people glue their eyes to the competition, and that make that sport very alive among many of the sports all over the world. So if martial arts is not going to be as powerful when it comes to competitive power as people believe it to be, will it still be relevant, even among sports?
I think it's important to build a commercial value, but if you look at it, the other styles, karate, taekwondo, judo, wrestling, of course, boxing is probably the most, carries the most commercial value.
Spicy and the commercial values
yes.
of it.
But I think everyone is working towards that goal. And actually, the routine of Taolu is spectacular to watch. The full contact fighting that we have in Sanshou, it's very combative, very, it's all out. Except we don't do a lot of the ground fighting, but other than that, it's all out. It's
Here is the thing. What is it about? Is it about a process-oriented, which is the Taolu? It's a process that people can watch and get entertained and be fascinated by its sporting power? Or is it about result-oriented, which is eventually who is going to win? What is that?
From the
Mr.
point,
Xu.
yes, from the point of my view, that Tai Chi is just one school of Chinese martial arts. I said that it embodies the very much about of the Chinese traditional culture. One of the things is that every master should be modest. And there are many things you need to explore and learn from the school. So it is not the results are presented. When you combat with another person, your heart, your mind should be that I want to learn from him. That's the starting point. My starting point is not to defeat him, but I want to learn from this process. This is also emphasized by Confucius many years ago.
So result to you as a Tai Chi master is not important.
It is important because it is an examination way of what I learned of my level.
Yes,
it
only
is
from that
important.
perspective.
But this is not the most important. The Wushu spirit actually is to learn from each other. It's to train your body and your spiritual world.
Do you think people understand about that?
I think when you say results, there are different results that different group of people are looking for. If I want to be the best fighter, then I want the result is to knock out my opponent. But if I want to be a good, really a technician in Tai Chi, then my result is able to generate a kind of power, generate a kind of skill. So that's my result. If I'm an older guy and I want just to practice and I get up in the morning, I get a good sleep, I feel good, that's my result. So I think the traditional Kung Fu deliver all this result, and you have to find a good teacher, a style that suits you, that suits your interest, your benefit, so that you want to go and practice it every day.
I'm so glad that our two masters are getting really excited in this discussion. So let's go to the next topic, which is why people are so excited about this. I mean about this little story about,
I think people are bored.
Fighting. Besides that, is it about what they believe as the meaning of Kung Fu vis-a-vis what they've been reading or what they're seeing through this competition? Or is it about that the Chinese Kung Fu should never be defeated? I want to go with the second point first. Mr. Xu, you and I remember in China we watch a lot of TV series in which the national heroes like Huo Yuanjia at the end of the Qing dynasty, when China was being colonized, was trying to fight against the foreign competitors in a boxer or some other foreign fighting styles, so that to earn dignity for the Chinese. That was a big thing then. But now, you see competition, Chinese style vis-a-vis, let's just say, Western style or international style. Is it still relevant today?
It is, of course, it is still relevant. Because I said that fighting skills is one of the most important part of the Chinese integral part.
People still are thinking about whether Chinese are being defeated or Chinese traditional Kung Fu being defeated?
No, it cannot never be defeated. One thing we should realize that the training way of current time and 100 years ago is somewhat different. That in the Huo Yuanjia's time, that people actually had the environment to fight with each other when they begin to practice the Kung Fu. But in our time,
they always did it in a competitive way.
The society changed. That we have to realize the fact that in current time that we don't have the conditions that 100 years ago they fight with each other when we begin to learn the Kung Fu. But it doesn't mean that the Kung Fu doesn't embody such contents. We still have such things, but I think we need to modernize some training ways, but we don't need to completely give up the traditional martial arts. That's my opinion.
Besides the fighting style and the end result, Mr. Go, what do you think that mentality behind so much attention on this story?
I think it somehow, I think the way how it blew out of proportion, I think nobody expect that. So really there is a certain community, and I think maybe a certain community could be overreacted, which in my opinion, is not necessary. I don't think this will really affect the industry, the sport's development in the long run. But also, I think it also raises good questions. Why do people react so, overreact so strongly? We may have to do some introspections within ourselves. What actually activate ourselves that react in such a way? Maybe we should have to be more confident. Maybe we should be more rational. Maybe we should have less Kung Fu ego or ego Kung Fu style, which I like to call it. I think so that this can be deal with more in a cool-minded manner. I think this is necessary. I don't think this will go very far, and I don't think it will, in the long term, it will have any significant effect in the long run, or minimum.
Yes, in pop cultures these days, whether it's in movies like Kung Fu Panda or some of the other novels and also TV series, you always see Kung Fu masters be able to conquer eventually against the other party, usually the enemy itself, and also the evil ones. How much does that, in a way, form a habit of all of us believing in that one sport has to be the one that is better or stronger than the other?
I think the Kung Fu movies starts in the 60s and 70s.
That's right.
Especially 70s, late 60s and 70s from Hong Kong movies, and then Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, all that follows. I think it gives a lot of people that, I mean, it's human nature, the aggression, love to have that superpower, especially, like in young boys, people that feel there's a need of it. But I think that aggression, that need to be managed so that you're not necessarily seeking it.
Yeah, that's why I want to come back to our Tai Chi master, Mr. Xu.
Yes.
When you are talking to your students, how are you helping them to understand the real essence of Kung Fu? The real essence of being modest?
Yes.
And what big purpose will that be able to serve?
Okay. You mentioned a very important aspect of
We only have 1.5 minutes left. You have to put your 2-hour lecture into 1.5 minutes.
First of all, that practicing Kung Fu can give you many educations without knowing. Many of my students change their tempers when they practice Tai Chi because the movement is very soft, and they change their moving pattern during such a kind of sports. So talking about this, the modesty things, I think the one effective way is to talk about the culture behind what they practice. So we can talk about the Taoism, we can talk about the Buddhism, we can talk about many things behind the Tai Chi. I will tell them that Tai Chi is behind Tai Chi we have the philosophy of yin and yang, we have the philosophy of 5 basic elements, we have the philosophy of the Taoism philosophy. So that from these communications that they will know better than purely learn from the book. So I think that's a very good way for the young people to practice Tai Chi.
I wish I could join the 2,000 big crowd to learn from you, Master Xu, about the Tai Chi and the secrets behind the Chinese martial art. Very limited time for such a fascinating topic. I want to thank the both of you, Anthony Go and Xu Chengzhi.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.